All right. Okay, so I think we've got everything figured out here. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. As Bill said, we are going to be going through a bit of a summary on the member benefits program available to CAP members. And once we get through the summary, we do have a few questions for George, so we're going to try to give him as much time as possible, and we'll get through our stuff here. So as you can see here from Hub International, I'm Carly Middleton, an association member benefits consultant. And to my right here is Dennis Pataski. He's our Director of Member Benefits and Services and has worked with CAP for many, many years. So before we jump into the member benefits program, I just wanted to take 30 seconds to remind everybody about the new microsite that we've created for the CAP member benefits program. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the concept, a microsite is essentially just a website contained in one landing page. So everything you're looking for is all in front of you. There's no need to click through to external links or different tabs. It's all on the one page available to you. So essentially how it works is allowing you to learn more about all of the member benefit programs, putting all of the information you may need, documents, information packages, applications, as well as contact information for the experts behind each of the benefits that you're interested in. You can easily travel between CAP's website and the member benefits microsite by going to cap.ca and visiting the member benefits section, or simply going to hubinternational.com/cap. Now I'm going to pass to Dennis, who's going to start going through a summary of the member benefits.
Okay, thanks, Carly. I'm just going to cover a very broad overview of the benefits, because of course there's a lot of detail. As Carly mentioned, there is a significant amount of information we have purposely placed on the microsite. So whether it's frequently asked questions, policy details, applications, discount codes, that is all on the website. So my purpose here is just to kind of say these are the type of programs that are out there, and to give just a very broad overview of them. So one of the most popular programs, with everyone post-COVID starting to travel again, is we have a preferred emergency travel program. And the rates there are $72 per year for a single person and $168 per year for a couple of family. That is offered through Allianz, which is part of the Cooperators family, and provides for 60 days of travel per trip. You can come back for a day and go another 60 days. So very competitively priced, excellent coverage under that program. Under the health, dental, and disability benefits, there's kind of two sections in that, and it kind of depends if you have employees on the farm or if you don't have employees on the farm. So with farms without employees, the program is offered as Edge benefits, and again, that's through part of the Cooperators family as well. And for farms with employees, their program is called Hub Complete. It's a very unique program. It automatically includes disability. You don't need a lot of employees to go under Hub Complete. 2 employees is all that's required. And what's very unique about the program is that you can have 100% family content within that. So that's very unique in the group benefits area. One of the most popular programs, and we've had it with CAP for a number of years now, and it's one I kind of asked George Graham to talk a little bit about towards the end here, but it's the Private Health Services Plan. It's also known as a PHSP. And that really the basis there, it's not an insurance program, but it allows the farm business to write off 100% of eligible medical expenses, while providing the owners and employees with a 100% tax-free reimbursement. So it's kind of a pay-as-you-go program, and essentially just helps out tremendously. With CAP members, they receive $50 off the $300 enrollment fee, and the administrator of the program is Sur Financial, and they charge a 10% administration fee for the program. The last program under the health and benefits is the MyCare Health Benefit Option, or MyCare HBO, and that provides initial diagnostic assistance in Canada if there is a serious disease, condition that a person may have, and your doctor has not been able to, confirm the problem within 60 days. In addition, there's also a second medical opinion, and that second medical opinion is provided through the U.S. Centers of Excellence. CAP members do receive a 20% discount with that specific program. Now to some travel vacation with the post-COVID. With Alamo, Enterprise, and National, we've had that program for a number of years. What's unique this year is there is a single link on the CAP microsite that you can go in, and it'll compare all three programs. In the past, if you recall, you had to go to each site, you'd have to put in each code, and then do a comparison. This site allows you to compare all three based on the location you're going. Choice discounts, it has a flat 15% discount, so it's not up to, it is flat, but you do have to book through Choice Hotels 1-800 number or online. You cannot achieve that rate by going direct to the hotel. And we also have a program with Colette, and if you're a CAP member, they offer promotions throughout the year, but CAP members will receive $100 over and above any of the public promotions that they have. And in the agribusiness section, there's the farm property, and Mark will be making some comments relative to that program. And a new program that we did introduce is a grain marketing program, CXN 360, and that's an online platform that allows farmers, allows buyers and sellers onto a platform. CXN 360 is just in the process right now of restructuring their different membership levels. So there will be some new information coming out in the CAP alert as we revamp that aspect. The other program that we're we haven't incorporated as yet permanently, but we've asked for some feedback. At Ag Days we got some feedback, and we've asked them for some feedback here, is with Mitos Canada, and they provide crop and weather forecast monitoring. So if anyone has any feedback in that regard, if you can let us know, let Carly or I know, or any of the people at the CAP office. And then the last slide here is with the communication programs, and again, we introduced a new program, a satellite text messaging program. I've been here many, many years, and there's been a lot of concerns regarding cellular coverage. So the satellite text messaging, the unit works through satellite. It detects if your phone sent a text and it never went through, or if it was you were receiving a text and the text did not get received, then automatically it'll go through the satellite. So it gives you 24/7 coverage, basically no matter where you are in the world, except within a closed steel building, essentially. There's a long distance program that's been there for many years. And then the other program is the Marks discount program. That has been extremely well used by CAP members. Each and every year, the volumes have increased there. And CAP introduced office program through Staples. That information is also on the CAP website. So I was talking to George yesterday, and he's been with the Private Health Services Plan for a number of years. George, I thought if you can just make a couple of comments on maybe why you initially signed up for the program, if you're still getting value for the program, and who you would recommend the program to in your industry.
As far as recommending it, absolutely. When I saw this program back in 2009, it took me a little bit to get my head around it once I understood what really meant, we signed up right away. The health spending account covers medical expenses that aren't covered by Manitoba Health. And I believe it also covers children under the age of 18 as well. And when you're buying braces and eyeglasses, things that aren't covered, this program does cover it. Since I've started, I've been buying for myself. I'm deaf, so hearing aids are not covered by Manitoba Health, but they are covered by this program. I've had a couple of falls that have put my hips where they're not supposed to be, and it's been a steady parade to the chiropractor for $40 or $50 a visit. That's not covered under Manitoba Health. This program covers it. Dental work, eyeglasses, pretty much any expense you can think of that is medical that isn't covered by Manitoba Health, this program will cover it. What I also did was there is a component where you can offer this program to your employees. And I found that to be a tremendous benefit by being able to, you can choose whatever dollar value you want up to a maximum, but what I did was took 2 weeks' salary. You can use that as your health benefit if you need to get glasses, dental work, anything up, whatever your 2 week, I think I was at $1,400 or $1,500. My employees used that. They loved it. Prescription drugs, not covered under Manitoba Health. This program covers it. It's a simple process. You pay for your eyeglasses. You submit the invoices to SEER. SEER reimburses you for your eyeglasses, invoices your company for that amount plus 10%. You pay it, it's 100% deductible on your taxes. It's a perfect program from my perspective, and I would encourage anyone with it, for you, your wife, your kids, your employees. This is a wonderful tool that you can use to protect yourself and use your corporation or your farm to pay for it rather than paying out of pocket. And you can't write it off personally, but your farm can. I've also used the travel health insurance. I dropped it in 2020 because they would not cover COVID, but most travel health insurance companies wouldn't. They've since brought in a new product where they will cover any COVID-related issues while you're traveling. So we've bought back in for, I think it's $164 for two.
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah. For 60 days. And we've looked at Blue Cross. They're not even close. This is a wonderful program. Do you want me to talk about some of the other products I've used, or what?
Just for clarification, $168 a couple
$168.
per year.
Yeah, I think we signed in December, so we were a month late, so we got 1 month prorated.
Yeah. Maybe just one experience with Enterprise. I think you had one of those, and then.
Yeah, we traveled to Toronto. This would be in 2018, I guess. And no, 2016, pardon me. We were in Toronto for 3 days, and then we drove to Ottawa for another 3 days. I went online to book a rental car through National Car Rental, and I got a rate. And then I went back in and tried it again with my CAP code. The rate dropped $300. That paid for my membership for that year. I couldn't believe it, but that's what it was. And I know it's a little bit less now, but everything's tightened up. We also like Canadians. 15% reduction on room rates is a good perk to be a CAP member. And I carry when you get your membership, you get your Mark's Work Warehouse card. I don't live close to a Mark's, so when I want to buy something, then maybe the sale's not on, but I still get my 10% off. And I've used that card a lot. And that's about all all I can tell you about it.
Yeah, I think that's good. Thanks, George. And I think, I guess, Mark, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, and then
Is that working?
we'll take questions afterwards. I think all three of us will go through, yeah.
Is that working, the mic? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Just before I start, I'm not going to go into too much detail of insurance. I don't like talking about insurance, actually, even though I work for an insurance company. I'm not the expert, so that's why I don't like it. I want to say, first of all, thank you for CAP for the invite. I do want to also thank CAP and the membership for the membership you have with cooperators. I don't know if you knew that, but we are a co-op. We're owned by 46 other organizations in Canada, CAP being one of our owners. So hopefully you all know that. If you don't, well, you just got the news today that you actually own an insurance company. That's the first thing I wanted to share. And on the benefit side, what I would say is because you're a member, and we also work with another 45 organization, this is how we build our program. We go region by region. We talk to our delegates, Jill being one of our delegates representing CAP. They bring a lot of good requests to management on 2-3 times a year. And this is how we came up with the farm benefit that I'll briefly touch on. So really, it's coming from you, maybe not directly each and individual one of you, but it is coming from our membership. So we do try to listen and come up with some solution to answer the best we can your needs, especially on the farm insurance side. So that came up about only, I'm going to say about 15 years ago that we came up with that program. So on the farm side, cooperators through our advisor channel, so if you're looking for an advisor, a cooperator's advisor, you just have to go on cooperators.ca, write up your postal code, and the closest one will appear, and they'll be able to help you and provide any answers that you have on farm insurance questions. I won't. I'll stick around if you have specific question, but I won't be able to answer them, so I'm going to have to come back and give those answers back to CAP so we can follow up later on. So it's a discount that we apply on farm insurance, and we also increase some of your limits, which this is an endorsement. You don't have to take it. I think the cost of it is about $50 a year. What I'm hearing from clients, from farmers, is for the cost, when you do get a claim, it is very important to have. It's limits like you may have a limit of $25,000 on one of the coverage. We're going to increase it by 100%, so we're going to put a $50,000 limit. So it's a few endorsement that we have like this that we offer to CAP members. We do have also benefits on home insurance. If that's a need, that there's a discount as well. And why all of this? Well, again, Cooperators was founded by farmers. Again, we believe we know what we're offering to farmers. So when you do talk to one of our advisors, you can trust that they know farm insurance. So it's for you. So you'll get also good rates. We believe we're very competitive. If you're just comparing rates, you may get cheaper elsewhere. Get it. We're not the only insurance company. But if you want to compare apples to apples and with good coverage that you actually need, we are very competitive. So all of this for you and your family and your farm. It's also good for your organization, for CAP. I've mentioned that CAP is a member of Cooperators. We are a co-op, so every year, if Cooperators is profitable, we do share back a patronage to our members. So CAP does get a patronage back every year, but that's based on the business that CAP and the membership do with Cooperators. So more business members bring to Cooperators, including travel, including edge, including farm, auto, and so on. We calculate that every year, and we return back to CAP. So again, good for the organization. And obviously, it's good for cooperators. I won't deny that. We do want to penetrate the Manitoba region, and so we do want to have more clients, especially on the farm side. So yes, it is good for us. And what we've seen so far through the last 15 years is farmers that are a member of one of our members are better clients. First of all, they're more profitable, claim less. I don't know why, but it does happen, and it's good for us. And also, usually, once you're a client of cooperators, you bring more products. So retention, again, it's a win-win-win for everybody. So I think I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to go into details of how much discounts you get and everything, because that's too technical. And if you're comparing from an insurance company to the other, some people may get 20% less, others might be a bit more. So that's very technical. But like I said, I'm going to stick around for dinner. So if anybody wants to talk about this, I'm going to be happy to answer any questions.
That's all we have,
Okay, do we have any questions from the floor at this particular time?
Hello, is this thing on here? Yeah. My name's Clayton Harder. I'm from District 5, also a director with the Manitoba Canola Growers. What's the status of the Stellantis discount or member benefit that was there for buying Ram trucks? Is it going to be in effect going forward? It was extremely lucrative in previous years. Took advantage of it at least 10 times.
Yes, we don't, the bottom line is we don't really know. We've been in discussions with Chrysler, you know, basically when the pandemic started. And with the chip problem, they just have not come forward for a program for 2023. And we don't know what 2024 will bring at this particular point in time. We have had very, you know, strong comments from CAP members that have used the program. Sometimes they'll take the certificate and then go to Ford or GM, but I mean, at the end of the day, it still provided a good, even though a Dodge vehicle may not have been purchased, it provided some good bargaining power, I think, is the best way of putting that. But we don't know if Chrysler's going to come back and what's going to happen to the auto market.
The benefit of the fleet certificate when purchasing a vehicle puts the purchaser into a different price category. So even if Ram doesn't want to renew that, I would encourage you guys to look at Ford or GM, because who cares? They're all the same. They all have a bunch of semiconductors, and they all fall apart in 3 years anyway. Yeah. So.
Thank you for the comments. I will comment, we did have very extensive discussions with General Motors for probably 18 months, and and this is like well before, probably 3 years before the pandemic, and they just wouldn't, you know, it's not that we were at all bargaining hard, because from our perspective, a lot of this is we're looking for a benefit for the CAP member, but I mean, it's got to be meaningful as well, right? I mean, essentially, and that discussions just did not materialize. I mean, it's not that we can't take it up with them at this particular point in time, but I think we need the supply issues to kind of get things sorted out before we reapproach them with everything that's currently going on in the auto industry. But thank you very much for your comment. That's good to hear.
Thank you. Seeing no one else come to the mic with regards to questions, I wish to express our gratitude for the panel coming forward, and thank you. Once again, in lieu of gifts, we will be making a donation to Manitoba Harvest on behalf of our panelists. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Todd Lewis Second Vice President of the Canadian Federation of Agriculture, to come forward and give a presentation on building a resilient future for Canadian agriculture.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. We just went through a member benefit discussion here, and one of the benefits of being a member of CFA is I'm not going to make you sit through a slide deck. It's been a long day and so on, and so I think we have our general manager Scott Ross here. You saw Mary's presentation this morning. CFA has a long list of things that we're working on currently with at the federal level. CAP is an important part of CFA, but I'm thinking it's been a long afternoon and so on. I just thought of a couple things that, specifically that CFA does a lot of work with, and one would be the labor file. Certainly, the labor file through COVID, programs like temporary foreign workers, SWAP, all those files were front and center a lot of the time, especially when you got plane loads of people that can't get into the country, can't get vaccinated, all those kind of things. And when the bullets were flying and so on, and in the middle of COVID, and we were short of labor, really across the country. I think the federal government, to give credit where credit's due, they were very nimble in some of the actions they took to allow the workers to get into place and change some regulations, and it is a federal jurisdiction in many cases. So I think in Manitoba there's a lot of foreign labor used, and I think when we look at what happens on the foreign worker programs and so on, in many cases it might seem like it's geared towards more Eastern Canada, but certainly if you require foreign workers and there are issues, please bring them up with Scott, your CAP representatives and so on, because at CFA we really do have an in with we co-chair a workforce task force that looks at these issues, and so if there are specific issues here in Manitoba that you're having trouble getting access to foreign workers, bring it up with CAP and bring it forward to CFA, because we do a lot of work in that field. Something else, through your resolution process at CFA, we spent a lot of time patiently waiting for the passage of Bill C-234, the exemption of propane and natural gas for barn heating and grain drying. But I think, we got to start thinking as farmers. One of your resolutions talked about carbon tax, and we had a discussion a little bit during the debate. What do we pay carbon tax on? And I think I'd challenge all of you to think, on your operation, what else do you pay carbon tax on? All your electricity has a carbon tax on it. All your grain transportation has a huge carbon tax on it. When are we getting that back? How do we get that back? If you're a big emitter in this country, I know in the province of Saskatchewan, they just got a $500 million check for the big emitters in Saskatchewan, and they're divvying that up as we speak. So it's something to think about, because we pay a huge amount of carbon tax that just goes into the big black hole called general revenue. And the way the carbon tax is designed, it's supposed to come back to the people, to benefit the people that are paying it. So there's a huge source of revenue there that should be coming back to agriculture. And it's the federal backstop program. It's Manitoba, Ontario, Alberta, and Saskatchewan are all under the federal program. That's over 80% of agriculture in this country. If you're a farmer in Quebec, you're treated totally different than you are in Manitoba. And they've got agreements with the federal government on carbon tax and rebates and all those things, right? So I think it's something that we're really missing the boat when you start thinking about carbon tax. It's a lot more than exemptions. We pay a lot more carbon tax than Think about what you're paying at the dealership. Everything we move is on transportation. Doesn't matter if it's a new machinery or used machinery or parts. And that carbon tax is all getting passed along to us. So we got to start thinking about how we're going to see that money come back. We're going to have to work with our provinces and ag departments and so on to try and get some of those numbers. I think groups like the railroad are willing to show us what they're paying in carbon tax, but they pass it straight along to us on our freight bills. And it's a big number on every individual farm. So I just say, those are a couple things that CFA is working on. There's a lot of files that behind the scenes, and our staff at CFA is busy all the time. With meetings with not only government officials but opposition as well, and the bureaucracy in Ottawa is a huge operation, and at CFA there's a lot of ins there with the bureaucrats and with the minister, but also the deputy minister and mid-level bureaucrats. That's where a lot of the decisions are made, and CFA spends a lot of time in meeting with those officials and trying to do the best they can on some of these policies. So with that, I know we had debate closed there. At that time, the cocktail hour was only an hour away. I think we're a lot closer than that now. And certainly appreciate you guys ran a great meeting here today. I've got to go back home tomorrow early, so I'll miss tomorrow. But Scott will be here tonight, and myself, and any questions you have, for CFA, and we certainly welcome any question. And once again, thanks for your support for CFA and the work that CAP does, really on behalf of farmers from across Canada. Thank you.